Hi, I am Alana. I am an entrepreneur and cake baker in Aberystwyth, West Wales. I won The Apprentice back in 2016 and I went into business with Lord Alan Sugar, but I am now going solo and growing the business on my own, so come with me on a journey as I take it from one tiny little beach shack cafe to multiple around the country. I did win The Apprentice back in 2016 and with that I won an investment and business partnership with Lord Sugar, which was amazing, but a few years in we actually parted companies and I was able to buy my shares back from Lord Sugar. I've learnt so much, but I feel like I'm now at a point where I've kind of gone 5 steps forward and then a few steps back. I think people think that I've got this massive leg up, and to a certain extent I did, but I had to work so hard. You win The Apprentice and then the hard work starts. I am definitely just like any other entrepreneur trying to navigate their way through a pandemic.
So I've just seen the news about Wales going into a lockdown on Friday. Opening day. Literally couldn't write it.
So just like all the other businesses out there, we have been on such roller coaster with the pandemic. One minute we feel like it's game over and the business is potentially not going to be able to get through, and then the next minute we feel like maybe we're going to be millionaires. It's such a roller coaster, and from speaking to other business owners, I know they've been on a similar roller coaster. But I think one thing we've done throughout the pandemic is just keep adapting, keep changing, keep listening to what the appetite is for our business. Events, our business was predominantly events, and they all overnight were cancelled. And that was hard, that was really hard, because that was all of our business. I think it was like 90% of our business overnight gone, which hopefully they will eventually come back. So yeah, we've just had to keep adapting, keep changing, keep moving forward. We actually opened our cafe the day we went into the firebreak lockdown, and we've had queues ever since. It's been really exciting, really great. I mean, there's been challenges along the way, of course, but it's meant that I've been able to see new avenues for the business that weren't necessarily even on my mind before. So there has been, I mean, I don't want to say good things have come out of a pandemic, of course I would rather there wasn't a pandemic, but there has been good things that we have seen from it.
Hey, sorry to interrupt myself there. Blissfully unaware of how many things are going to go wrong. Actually, not how many things, just one big thing. So keep watching to find out how I went from that happy self to this.
I have always been someone who is incredibly ambitious, and even from a young age I wanted to have a business. So my first business was a card business, and I've always been looking for that next step. And the cafe, opening that cafe on the seafront, nothing has ever felt as right as that cafe feels. The joy, it sounds a bit cringe, but the joy that people get from coming for a walk on the seafront and grabbing a delicious hot chocolate it's just been really lovely to see. And so I can see that there is potential here. I can see that there's scope to grow this model. And so my ambition would be, and I always get worried of saying my ambition out loud, because if you don't achieve it then it kind of feels like something you've not hit, but my ambition would be to have ridiculously rich by the sea cafes all along the coast in Wales, and then beyond, but we're starting with Wales. Keep the goal to Wales for now and then expand. The next step for us is we do actually have 2 new sites ready to start work on, and I'm able to reveal those locations. So we've got one in Llandudno on the seafront. It's a tiny little, very much like the Aberystwyth one, it's a little sort of shack. It's got a pool, I think it's a Lido actually, I think that's what it's called, an outside pool. And then behind that is the sea. It is one of the most beautiful locations I've been to see, and the prom in Llandudno is just perfect, so I'm really excited about that one. And then the other location, and I can't say too much about this one, but I can reveal that it is Cardiff, which is 2.5 hours south, and then we've got Llandudno, which is 2.5 hours north. It's not the most convenient. I'm going to spend a lot of time in the car, a lot of time listening to podcasts, and there's going to be a lot of work in managing those two sites, getting the staff in each site trained up, etc, etc. But I'm up for a challenge. I'm always up for a challenge, and fingers crossed it goes well. And I just looked off camera. So what I want to show from doing this vlogging and doing this little series, I guess, is my journey, and the journey that is growing a business, to show you guys that it's not easy. And I think people have this perception when they look in, and social media is such a highlight reel of just all the wins, that from every win that you make, there's probably 10 little knockbacks along the way. So I want to show that I haven't got here through luck. I've got to where I am now through grit and determination, and that is hopefully what's going to take us to that next step. But I don't know anyone that's shown the good, the bad and the ugly of running a business to this extent. I want to really take you in and show you the vulnerable bits and the positive bits, show you it all. So come with me on the journey. Of course, if you want to watch my journey, then please subscribe. I said when I started doing these that I'd show the good, the bad and the ugly of business, and literally you could not write this. So I'm currently sat here, I was just watching some telly, I've got a glass of wine, and I got a message. So the guys, Petra and Tom, friends of mine who have been running the cafe, managing the cafe, they leave tomorrow, and they spent the last 3 weeks training someone up to take over their place as manager. And I just got a text. Bear in mind it's their last day tomorrow. I just got a text from the new manager saying that she decided it wasn't for her. So I now have no manager, and Petra and Dom leave tomorrow. It's their last day. I've got 2 new stores opening and no manager for this one. No one to train this manager up. Oh my gosh. This is the thing with like wanting to grow. It's like like if I wasn't focusing on the 2 other stores, I could obviously just jump in there and train people up, but like I've kind of a little bit committed now to these 2 new stores. Look, when I'm stressed I pick my lip and it's like agonising right now. Oh my gosh. I feel like I kind of thought like, oh, there'll be a bit of jeopardy. There'll be a bit of like, oh, I wonder what will happen this week with Ridiculously Rich, but I hadn't, like, it's almost like she has thought, how can I make her first YouTube, or one of her first YouTube videos, really exciting? Oh God. So if you want to follow my journey in growing my business, then subscribe to this channel and ring the bell to get notifications.
Still natural.
Oh.